Just chalked because you're local to us on the 9th of October, aren't you, in Coventry?
Yes, that's fantastic. I can't wait. It's one of my
Well,
favourite gigs.
well, we've got our tickets as well, so we'll be there front and centre. So we'll be
Oh,
Brumside
brilliant.
Radio. will be there cheering you on. Um,
Thank you.
no, I've been looking at a bit of your stuff and Namaste, and is it a kind of thing that you've come up with because you say about the current state of the world at the moment? Um, is it
Yeah.
is it going to be all comedy, or is it going to be a little bit serious, or are you all poking fun at the governments and prime ministers, politicians?
Yes, I think, look, at the end of the day, I remember having a conversation with Sean Locke, God bless him, Sean Locke, who was
Yes, yeah, they're brilliant, man.
passed away about 4 years ago.
Yeah,
We were
yeah,
having a chat about political comedy, and we were never the kind of people who were just stood on soapboxes and made slogans and felt that people would give us a clap.
yeah,
We never do anything unless we thought it was funny. So even if there are periods where I'll talk a lot, there will always be a gag at the end.
yeah,
The whole idea of Namaste is it's taken all my anger over the last couple of years
yeah,
and put it into a kind of comedy catalytic converter.
yeah,
And then what you get out of it is some insight, some comedy, and maybe some things that are quite beautiful as well.
yeah,
But it's something to try and make sense out of the craziness. And obviously with the whole cancellation of Jimmy Kimmel only just
oh, I
last
know,
night, I
yeah,
mean,
I know,
crazy. We're looking at something very sinister that's going on. So you've got people killing Charlie Kirk to kind of shut his voice up,
yeah,
and to retaliate, you're going to shut everyone else up as well. Like what is that about? And the first people that get it is, I was going to say get it in the neck, but that's not the right thing to say right
yeah,
now.
yeah,
But
yeah,
it's comedians. They try and chill the voice of comedians, and if you look really carefully at what Jimmy Kimmel said, he didn't say anything wrong at all. I mean, really, nothing at all.
yeah,
It was just using, even mentioning, I think, Charlie Kirk is like, it's almost become like radical Islam. In radical Islam, you can't, like, if there's the call to prayer,
yeah,
when they say a call to prayer, you can't even put that in the middle of a joke. It's like a kind of thing. If the call to prayer is part of the joke, you
yeah,
can't do it.
right,
You'll get cancelled. And that's it. So it's like as if even if you mention the name Charlie Kirk now in the middle of a joke, you're going to get cancelled, which is nuts,
yeah,
basically. So it is something that I'm very worried about. But Namaste, it should always be funny and always insightful. And I think it's because I was in America. When I went to certain venues, they didn't quite know who I was. I didn't know anything, and they were quite standoffish. All the
yeah,
security and the people were standoffish. But afterwards, they came up to me and they wanted selfies, and I said, "Why do you want a selfie? You were quite standoffish." They said, to be honest, we'd never heard of you,
yeah,
and we just thought, who's this guy? But now I laughed and I learned, and you
yeah,
think, wow, I laughed and I learned. That is like music to a comedian's ear. If that's the end point of what you get, then that's just
yeah.
fantastic.
So I mean, and you've had it rough after COVID as well, didn't you? So I mean, you got tried to get cancelled. So have
I
you?
tried to get cancelled.
Well, not you, sorry, but not you. They tried cancel you over something that happened at COVID. So have you learnt anything from that, or do you just still are you still doing what you want to do?
Yeah, there were a couple of shows got cancelled
Yeah,
because I had said something on social media
yeah,
about Israel, and I'd said something like, something like release the hostage or calling for a ceasefire quite
yeah,
early on. And then the venue were worried because some people were going to come down to have a word with me about it. And they went, you know what?
yeah,
We don't want this aggravation. And they cancelled the show. I never cancelled anything. So,
yeah,
but that was because they just didn't want the bother.
yeah,
But that kind of thing is, you have to be, Shawsey, you have to be really true to yourself. And if
yeah,
some people don't like what you're doing, then they don't like it. But at the moment, what's going well is that people can see where I'm coming from,
yeah,
and they know they're going to get a good night. And it's not just that, because there's two of us. I mean, I bring with me, I think, the best warm-up comedian in the whole of the UK, because he's not a warm-up comedian. He's actually a brilliant comedian in his own right.
Yeah.
He's called Boothby Graffoe, which in comedy, in the comedy circles will know he's a proper comedian's comedian. So if you like comedy, you will love him, and he sets the audience up properly. So everyone knows that whatever I'm going to talk about, you're still going to have a great night.
Yeah. I mean, I've loved everything you've done. I mean, I saw you in Mummy. And I mean, I loved you in that. I thought that was pretty good. I've been on your IMDb, and you've got such a varied IMDb page profile as well, haven't you? I mean, you've done Shaun the Sheep, and then you go from Shaun the Sheep, to Gladiator. I mean, how do you play that? I mean,
I know that
it's a contrast, and what is it?
It's a juxtaposition, yes.
Yeah.
You can't really get two more different projects than Shaun the Sheep.
Definitely not. No. I mean,
and do you know?
Go on, sorry, carry on.
And do you know what? What was interesting about that was we had arguments because I played a character called Trumper. We had arguments about it because I'm not even saying lines. It's kind of like it's called voice interpretation. So I'm playing a human, but doing a voice of how the sheep hear me. So if I say, "Go on, get in the van," I've got to go, "Go on, get in the van." So, and then they would say, "Omid, can you just give us a and I'll go, "Bleh." They said, "No, we just want a simple and I went, "Bleh." They goes, "Can't you just give us a simple?" I said, "My character wouldn't do that." And they said, "Should we take 5 minutes?" I said, "Yeah." And I'll go out and I'll come back and I go, "Are you happy now?" And it was all like people getting pissed off because these stupid bloody noises.
That's I mean, I had to ask that. Sorry, but I did have to ask that because when I was looking at your IMDb, that was one of the things that stuck out. I mean, obviously we're gonna talk about Namaste because I'm excited. Yeah. I'm gonna be there with producer Kerry. But can I ask you a couple of other questions?
Sure.
If you don't mind.
No.
I know you had to brush off the ludicrous thing. Is there anything else that I'm always putting my foot in it. I really am. And
sorry, brush off the what thing? Sorry.
Remember the ludicrous and mistook his name for ridiculous and all that stuff.
Have you heard that story? That's great.
Yeah. Have you done anything else like that? Because I'm always putting my foot in it with I don't mean to, but But have you ever had to brush anything else like that off? Or are you quite calm, cool, and collected, and you don't get caught out like that?
Well, in my younger days, I mean, look, I did a lovely tribute to Robert Redford when he passed away.
Yeah.
Robert Redford was such a big Hollywood icon. He was an absolute icon, and I actually got on with him very, very well. And I was telling him how much he was so excited because I said, of all your films, I think the film The Natural, which is about a baseball player who's shot in the arm, and then he can't play baseball, but he comes back age 40.
Yeah.
He comes back into the game, and he hits the baseball so hard that he knocks the skin off the baseball.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's a great film, and he got really excited and just said, "Oh wow, I love it when people like sports films. I've just shot a sports film." I said, "Oh wow, what's that?" He goes, "It's called The Legend of Bagger Vance with Will Smith. It's a golfing movie, and here's my number. Go watch it and send me a text and tell me what you think." And he goes, "Be brutal, just say what you think." And I said, "Oh, okay, fine." I went to see it, and I didn't like it at all. I actually fell asleep. I said, "Sorry,
oh, no.
Mr. Redford." Mr. Redford, I fell asleep. But, nothing beats The Natural. Not even you directing The Legend of Bagger Vance. Is that going to be better than The Natural? The Natural,
yeah.
All the way. Much love, Omid. He never wrote back to me again.
Oh, blimey. That's a story for me, that is. I was going to say, you've acted with Brad Pitt as well, haven't you? So that was going to be my other question.
Oh, here's a story.
Here we go.
For you. I made such a big boo-boo. Oh, God.
Yeah.
I've met him since, and it's all fine. But around 2000, 2001, there was a Soccer 6 tournament where it's pro celebrity, and John Barnes was there. John Barnes, the Liverpool winger.
Do you play football? You a footballer? You play?
I play football. Yeah. I played against him. Yeah. And after the game, I'm a big football fan, and I said to him, "Hey, John, I've got to say, that goal you scored at the Maracanã in 1984 was the best goal any England player's ever scored." He goes, "Hey, thanks, man." And I said, "But you've just been sacked as manager of Celtic.
Oh, right, okay.
He goes, yeah, what about it? I said, maybe that's not your thing. Maybe stick to football. He goes, okay, yeah, because you're not much of a manager, are you? And he went, okay. And I went, see you around. He went, yeah. and, I thought, what the hell was I thinking? There's no point. There's no point saying anything negative. Like
Yeah.
that's the one thing I realized when I was about 35
Yeah.
and 36. So I learned that with Robert Redford and John Barnes, there's absolutely no point when you're with your heroes.
Yeah.
There's no point focusing on the negative.
Yeah.
Nobody likes that.
Yeah.
Nobody likes it at all. So that's a very big lesson for me.
Well, actually, I mean, now you've mentioned the negative, I've been stalking you on the internet, and I know you're really you're very anti-negativity. Have
Yes.
you always been that way, or was there something in your life that I've got to be more positive, or is it something that you've always strived to be positive, following whatever?
Yeah, I just think a positive mindset. It's about vibrations and frequency.
Yeah.
You know, there are some people who are very low vibrational. You know, when you're with some people and you feel tired,
Yes. Yeah.
and you think because they have a low vibration, they don't operate at a higher frequency. And I just thought, God, I never want to be like that. I never want to
Yeah.
be in a company where people start getting the yawn. And they used to be, I used to get that when I was about 18, 19. People used to yawn when they're around me. And I just thought, maybe it's me.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just boring, you know. So when I noticed lots of girls yawning around me,
Yeah.
I thought, well, you know, I have to change. And I
Yeah.
think I developed a sense of humor. And I was always quite funny when I was young. And I
Yeah.
just thought, just no negativity, just stay high vibrational. I think it's a good place to be.
I totally. I mean, I'm trying to be more positive, but in a world that we live in today, it's kind of like difficult. But I totally get you. Can I ask you about Baha'i as well?
Yes, the Baha'i faith, of course.
If you don't mind, 'cause I mean, some people
No,
don't like talking about faith. I honestly didn't know. I'd done some research on you. I didn't even know what it was all about. But I'm a Christian, and that the Baha'i really does kind of like speak to me. Was it something?
right.
Is it your? Did you fall into it, or was you born into it, or was it something you looked up one day and says, I like this faith?
I'm actually fifth generation Baha'i, but
Oh,
in the
right,
Baha'i
okay.
faith, you don't become a Baha'i just because you're born into it. You
Yeah.
have to investigate it for yourself.
Yeah.
And I was really happy to see that at that Tommy Robinson the march, there were some people saying we're all Christians, and Christ is the only way. Like Islam, forget about
Yeah.
Islam, Buddhism, Baha'i. And I got really excited. I said, we got a mention. I said, lads, and I started texting, but we got a mention. They were like saying ban mosques, and I was saying, you know, I was using that ban Baha'i cluster reflection meetings, and we were like having a real laugh about what Baha'is do. But the Baha'i cosmology kind of makes sense to me as I'm getting older. That you know,
Yeah.
that if there is a God and if there is the world, that there must be, it must be all connected. So the Baha'i faith believes that their faith is just basically the latest chapter, but not the last chapter
Yeah.
in God, if there is a God,
Yeah.
communicating with mankind. So the different chapters of the same book. So you've
Yeah.
got Judaism, Buddhism, Christianity, and basically the Baha'i faith basically says that it's the oneness of mankind is the truth. It's not a nice idea. It's an unequivocal truth.
Yeah.
And also the religion in essence is one as well. So if you're gonna reject Christ and be I'm a Buddhist because I reject Christ, then you're rejecting Buddhism. If you say I'm a Hindu and I reject Moses,
Yeah.
then you can't be a proper Hindu. You have to acknowledge the absolute truth. So Baha'is absolutely understand who Jesus was, and
Yeah.
I get very upset when people have a go at Christ or comedians doing jokes about. I always feel like, well, do you have to? Does Jesus have to be that? You can do a joke about Christianity if you're making fun of yourself. I'm always been very uncomfortable with people making fun of the personage of Jesus Christ, because if you know who and what he is,
Yeah.
because we don't even know as an entity what he was. I find that very difficult for people to make jokes about it. So what the Baha'i faith is saying, that these things are all one. We are all absolutely one. So actually, everything is a label. I identify as a Baha'i,
Yeah.
but I absolutely believe in Jesus. I believe in Moses as well, and I think that what the Baha'i faith gives me is a more of a, I suppose, universal perspective on our purpose
Yeah.
and why we're here and where we're going. That we do believe in an afterlife. We do believe that there's so we're in a bit like a baby in a womb growing physically. We're in the womb of this world,
Yeah.
preparing for something else. So yeah, but it's all interconnected and it's all one. It's a lovely message.
Yeah, I do. I mean, I've looked at the. It's not a church. I'm sorry. What's your church? Is in London, and there's one in London, one in Bristol, isn't there? It's not a church. I know that, but
But they're not really churches. We have Baha'i centers and
the
we have
centres. Yeah.
these Baha'i temples around the world,
Yeah.
which are really just for the whole world. There's one in Chicago. There's one in Frankfurt, but they're temples of worship for people from all around the world,
Yeah.
from any faith really. So it's I wouldn't
That's
call it
that's
a
yeah.
Baha'i church. Yeah.
That's a nice, really nice message, that is. And would you say was that affected your worldview on anything, or your faith?
Yes, it has, because it makes me because I see all people as one.
Yeah.
And people kind of think it's wrong to do accents,
Yeah.
but I think with me, what I try and do is make the accents really accurate.
Yeah.
And I do it with joy.
Yeah.
I don't do it in a way to denigrate that culture. It's always joyful, and it's always something that's a celebration of that culture. And I think that's definitely, I suppose, influenced by my Baha'i upbringing, that we see all people as one, and we see, the diversity is such a fabulous thing. You have to,
It is,
you have to, and I love that. What made me laugh so much, that when you had all those people at that demonstration, all going for Afghan street food and Indian bargees and things. So you had all this thing about Britain first, but everyone was getting all kebabs and things, which I thought was brilliant.
That was lovely.
And I think that's wonderful, because that's Britain as well.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely speaks to me. Baha'i does. I've been asked. I mean, you spoke about excuse me. You spoke about accents there, and it just popped up on my social media the other day. Big Shores, if you want to follow me, that'd be great. And
Of course.
it was the Nigerian taxi driver.
Oh yeah.
That
Yes.
seriously, that had me in pieces, and I used that to promote. I've been promoting you all week, saying we're speaking to Omid, and then
thank
on
you.
the 9th, and he's in Coventry, all this business, and I've used that, and the amount of people that have just had so much fun with that, and it just is.
It's funny, isn't it?
It's
Yeah.
brilliant. It is so amazing. I've got a couple of questions what the listeners have sent in. Could I ask you
Sure.
just one of them?
Sure.
So,
Yeah.
if you had to run away and join the circus, what performer would you be, and what would your stage name be?
That's a fantastic question. So if I ran away with to get this right, run away with the circus.
Yeah.
What would I do? What would my stage name be? Well, I've always, whatever I would do, I would probably be a clown, but because
Yeah.
I hate clowning, I wouldn't do very much. So, but I think my stage name would be Zero Talent.
Right. Zero
Zero
talent
talent.
clown.
The crap clown, yeah.
Oh, that'd be brilliant. I've got another one as well. Before, I mean, I know you've got to go at 10 to, but you've been in showbiz for a long time. What's the strangest, most specific piece of wisdom you've collected along the way?
Okay, the strangest. Wow. I mean, there's wisdom and there's wisdom.
Yeah.
So it's if you say strange, that's kind of thrown me a bit, because
Okay,
don't know if there's been any
what's the
strange
best
wisdom.
piece of wisdom you can give to somebody
Okay, the best piece of wisdom.
starting
Best
out?
piece of wisdom. Yeah. Well, this is the best piece of wisdom in show business, I think, and actually for your life in general, I think,
Yeah.
which I think is a very important thing. That things don't happen to you, they happen for you.
Oh, wow.
Which means, people say, oh, why does it always happen to me?
Yeah,
It's not happening to you, it's happening for you, and it will continue happening to you until you learn that lesson, that thing that's happening for you, that you have learned. And I think that's the most incredible. Anything bad or good, why does it happen to me? It's not happening to me, it's happening for me. And
That's brilliant.
as soon as you understand that, then it's this speed at which you can actually flip it from being totally sad, depressed, and angry to like, actually, this is a learning moment.
That's
You know,
brilliant. You
so
know, that is one of one of the most things that people say. Everybody says that every day of the week, every time they say that when something goes wrong, and I can understand that. And you know what? You've just given me a eureka moment there, an epiphany,
right,
because I am one of those people that say, "Oh, why is it always me?" And
yeah,
now you've told
exactly.
me that this phone call's been 1,000% worth it. It really has.
Oh wow,
I'm
I'm
gonna
so
get down
glad.
a t-shirt. I'm gonna get big shorts, he says, but I know it's your words really. Right, I know you've got to go, my friend. You are in Coventry on the 9th of October,
Yeah,
aren't
brilliant.
we? And
Warwick,
we're at the Warwick Arts Centre. And if
Warwick
you
Arts Centre.
Yep. So if you're listening out there, listeners, I mean, I know you are listening because I've told you for the last couple of weeks we've got Omid on the show, and if you go to Warwick
Brilliant.
Arts Centre, and you can get your tickets. There's a big green tab there. Find and book tickets, and I'm going to be there. But more importantly, Omid's going to be there making us all laugh, and
Brilliant. I think it'll be a good night. It'll
it's
be a good high vibrational night of comedy.
I love it, and I might even have my T-shirt on. So look out for this. It doesn't happen to you; it happens for you. T-shirt. So
Yeah,
look
it's
out
a
for that.
it's a good bit of wisdom. I think it's something we can all use actually, because I used to be like that. You know, as soon as you see that happening, you think,
Yeah,
okay, right, this is happening for me. That's brilliant.
that's an epiphany.
It's a big change.
That's an epiphany. That is. That it really is. Right then, I know you're a busy man, and I know you've got this the international tour going on, and you know you go to where you starting as well? Riyadh, aren't you? In Riyadh, then Kuwait
I
and
should say something
Dubai.
about that actually. There's been a lot of supposed criticism from tutting teacups in
Yeah,
Crouch End. But you know, I have to tell you, if the Iranian regime had stopped oppressing women
yeah,
and stopped executing people, and if they had a Tehran comedy festival, I would have gone there because people saying you're always calling out oppressive regimes.
yeah,
Why are you going to Saudi? Saudi women are now allowed to drive. Saudi women do not have to wear the hijab. They've
yeah,
brought footballers over. They've brought UFC fighting, boxing,
yeah,
and now to be in a group of comedians, which includes Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, Kevin Hart, Jimmy Carr, and myself, being brought to actually raise the level of vibration and frequency for the people of Saudi
yeah.
Arabia is huge. It is absolutely huge. And I have to tell you, I'm very proud to be part of this. And I'm going to write an article about it because people say, how can you go? I said, well, look, rather than sit at home, I'm going to go, I'll experience it and I'll write about it and
Yeah,
let you guys know. Because there is this terrible thing that, oh, British comedians taking Saudi coin.
yeah.
You know, again, once again, having a go at the comedians, having a go at the comedian. You don't talk about selling weapons and armory. Those people don't get any kind of criticism. It's always
Well,
comedians. And I think
the
that
footballers don't get all that heat, do they?
even the
When
footballers
yeah,
don't get it. Yeah, it's ridiculous. But why is it comedians? If there was a comedy festival in Iran, I would have gone if that regime had like just basically treated people a little bit better.
yeah,
You know, but it does seem that nothing is perfect. I wouldn't say the Saudi Arabian regime is perfect, but they're making moves towards changing and becoming and using their money not for terrorism,
yeah.
but for the people of Saudi Arabia. And if I'm a gift to them, then what the hell? Why would I not go? It's an amazing thing.
I think comedy can do so much for
Yeah.
people's life, the people's world, the world in general, and mental health as well. Because I know you're an advocate for mental health too.
Yes,
Um,
definitely. I
so
can see how the laughter changes everything because when you're in a joyful state, you make better. You know, they say joy gives you wings, but it also gives you a better understanding of what decisions to make.
it
You make
does,
terrible decisions when you're depressed.
yeah,
So actually, joy is such an important thing.
and the vibrations as well. To vibrations and joy, yes, indeed.
Exactly.
Before we go.